Isaiah 66:18 says, I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. In verse 19 it says, and they shall declare my glory among the Gentiles. Hi, I'm Tom Knickerbocker. My wife Barbara and I are missionaries with Help Ministries. Since the early 1990s, God used Dr. Scotty Drake to found Help Ministries and reach into over 70 countries around the world. HELP, which stands for Help Evangelize Lost People, now supports over 500 national pastors as they endeavor to win people to Christ, train national leadership, and plant New Testament Baptist churches throughout their countries. We at Help Ministries partner with the national pastors to raise monthly support to meet their ministry needs. Special projects include raising money for buildings, purchasing Bibles, tracts, books, and training materials for their churches, Bible institutes, and theological libraries. Bicycles, motorcycles, and donkeys are donated to help these pastors with their transportation needs. The means of raising support for these national pastors has been our Help Ministries missions conferences, which we conduct in the spring and fall of each year. In these special meetings, American churches are introduced to experienced Baptist pastors from around the world who are brought here to share their testimonies, sing, and preach the Word of God. Hearts are stirred, and there is a revival spirit in many of the church services as people witness what God is doing in scores of third world countries. We have made it possible that a church of any size can have a missions conference. All we ask a church to provide are meals for the missionaries, either before or after each service. And then, of course, take a love offering each night, which is then sent to Help Ministries office at the conclusion of each conference. The love offerings help us meet the needs of cost of flying the missionaries back and forth to America, and then providing transportation and food for them while they are here. We transport the national pastors each night to and from the church services, so there are no transportation or lodging costs for the hosting church. We believe that if a country or people group is to be entirely reached with the gospel, it will be done and must be done by nationals. Why not help to support the national to reach his own people? He has the language, culture, customs, and knowledge to get the job done, and friends, he's doing it. The key to the success of these conferences are the state representatives who contact pastors, schedule meetings, and arrange for housing and then transportation of the pastors to and from the churches. A help representative can be likened unto many of those who helped and aided the Apostle Paul, one of the first missionaries of the early church. In his 13 epistles, Paul lists a total of 125 people whom he suggested he could not do without in the ministry. They assisted him, helped him, labored with him, and all were beloved of him. They brought him books, clothing, and money. They provided him meals and lodging. They delivered his letters to the churches and ministered to him while he was in prison. Likewise, as help representatives, we are trying to help these worthy servants of God to raise monthly prayer and financial support, as well as provide the necessary tools to effectively carry out their ministries. Help representatives introduce the national pastor and the American church so they can partner together for the cause of world evangelism. The Lord has opened up numerous opportunities for us to help train and invest in the lives of many national pastors and their churches. First of all, while national pastors are here for conferences, the Lord has enabled me to develop and teach them a college course that includes a biblical basis for ministry, God's design for marriage and child training, as well as music in the church. The feedback I've received from the pastors is that it is instructive, encouraging, and helpful. Many of our national pastors have told me that they will take the material and teach it to their Bible college students back in their countries. Secondly, God has allowed us to take 3 trips to 3 different African nations to preach, teach, and visit new churches being started. This is for the purpose of teaching, encouraging, and providing accountability for both the national pastor and help ministries. While there, I was able to preach at a college graduation, visit new churches being started, and deliver Bibles to pastors. One of our missionaries, who has been a college professor in Togo, West Africa for many years, told me that what his country needs from Americans is education. My desire is to visit many other countries, as well as to provide more intensive training in the work of the ministry for these dear national pastors. After preaching for over 30 years, we have organized and cataloged over 1,500 textual and topical sermons, which include over 3,000 pages of outlines and illustrations. These are made available to the national pastors to be downloaded on their laptops for future reference. Also, we have made available 5 CDs of original music, which can be a blessing to them and their ministries. Writing informative and training materials for help ministries has been an added opportunity. The book, Reaching the Nations with the Nationals, highlights the history, policies, and practices of help ministries and is made available free of charge to pastors. Finally, my wife and I have traveled here in the United States with some of our national pastors, introducing help ministries to scores of churches in Florida, New York, Pennsylvania, and Texas. There is a growing desire on the part of many independent Baptist preachers and churches to get involved in the work of world missions by helping support national pastors and hosting help ministries conferences. While traveling, we raise special monies for Bibles, buildings, and literature. Friend, will you help us as we endeavor to represent the many national pastors who count on us to be their voice? Just as the Apostle Paul encouraged the churches to meet the needs of his helpers who represented him, so we would ask you to do the same on our behalf. We would greatly appreciate your daily prayer support and monthly financial partnership for the sake of worldwide effort of reaching the nations with the gospel of Jesus Christ. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Salvation.